Hi, my name is Adam Britcher. I'm the solicitor for the Watts Township Zoning Hearing Board, which I hope you guys are all here for tonight. If not, feel free to leave. Just kidding. Anyhow, we have a few things to discuss before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of this hearing tonight. The first thing is going to be procedural. Our previous chairwoman, Donna Weiser, is not well. Person for the meeting and for the zoning hearing board. I'm also going to have them just introduce themselves, also for the record. So you guys want to go down through the line. Lloyd Bob.
Lenny Brugg.
Pam Kelly.
And so is there any motions to appoint a new chairperson?
I make a motion to appoint Lenny.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And Lenny is going to be the new official chairperson for the zoning hearing board. Before we get in, we also have a few other procedure items. The first is that this meeting was clearly advertised. You're all here tonight. The property has been marked. Notices were mailed to the adjoining property owners, and it was advertised in the newspaper for 2 consecutive weeks. Copies of those notices, both the mailing certificates and the proof of publication will be part of the record. So that is in the record for tonight. Just so we're all on the same page how this appeal, or why we are here tonight. The MRPI, which as you guys will know would be a data center, so we slip between the two, filed for a zoning permit. A letter was submitted and signed off by the township zoning officer, Jerry Spees. That letter then was submitted to the township, and the township has since appealed. Essentially, the question presented by the township in their appeal is whether or not a data center is similar in use to a warehouse. A warehouse is allowed zone for in the industrial district, which is where the property is tonight. The township is appealing that determination from the zoning officer. This zoning hearing board has jurisdiction over limited matters, one of which is appeals from a zoning officer. So that's why we're here tonight, is to hear this appeal. So in many ways, we are kind of limited in testimony to this specific issue. This is all that was advertised as well for tonight. So we kind of do have to limit it to what we have advertised. So whether or not data centers or warehouses. Before we begin, there was an objection to one of the board members due to a potential conflict that was done before this meeting. So I will allow McNees, Wallace, and Nurick, representing MRPI, to present their objection if they wish to at this time.
Good evening. Thank you for having us. Just a little background. We submitted a letter on June 30th requesting that Mr. Loudon recuse himself or that the board take action to disqualify him from participation in this matter. The basis for that recusal is that Mr. Loudon is a member of a Facebook group called Preserve Watts Township, Perry County. I think that Mr. Loudon can be neutral, unbiased decision maker in this instance. I don't know the gentleman at all in any other context other than this, but I think here, the law is pretty clear. It requires that tribunals be unbiased and even void of the appearance of bias, and I don't think we can avoid that here. I respectfully request that Mr. Loudon voluntarily recuse himself, and if not, that the board require that you do so.
Isn't MRP on the Facebook page still?
Just so we're aware, there's a court reporter. This is a hearing, so please, if you wish to talk, please raise your hand. Also, we will need to have your name for the record because we have a court reporter. It's all getting typed up. I guarantee one of these parties is going to appeal this tonight. So our court reporter has to make sure all this whole record is preserved.
Biased decision, then he's permitted to stay on. I don't think there's any statutory law, it's case law, and it's my understanding it's up to the individual to make that own decision.
Solicitor, I'm not sure the process. I would like to get Mr. Loudon's comments into the record.
Do
As a
you,
board member, I don't know that I can necessarily examine him.
I don't,
Before we rule on all of this stuff? You want to address recusal before we address intervention?
yeah,
Okay,
I'm just gonna, yeah, you're like third on my list.
thank you. But first in your heart.
Yes, for now.
So I believe it's an individual decision.
That's
So
fine.
you've seen the objection, the individual decision is yours.
You
With the
would,
advice of your solicitor.
you would then recuse yourself if we were discussing, or the board will make a motion and then need a second and then approval for you to remove you as from this at this point. That's how the recusal would work.
As far as this board?
Correct.
Okay. You had read comments that actually talk about, first of all, like the energy pig. It's common knowledge that a data center would use 80 to 1,000 to 800,000. I had said that if there was a legal way to about, not having a data center, we would have done that. That was the conclusion of 99% of the township. It just wasn't my opinion. And the whole thing, what it says is down to it, maybe I'm digging myself a hole. I would rather have a data center than a data center than a warehouse, just from the standpoint that it would pretty much be unregulated, the noise and everything, and I realize it's gonna be one or the other. From the standpoint that I would rather have it's gonna be one or the other. I would definitely rather have a data center than a warehouse, just because of the incidentals. As long as the people that you lease it to are going to abide by the ordinance. And I don't understand, what it comes down to then is, did a certain person make a decision that was best for the township? And that's the only thing, and that's a judgment call that's outside of, it's of that. So I see myself as, very impartial. Like I said, you'll have one or the other, and I'd rather have a data center than a lot of trucking noise.
Appreciate your comments, Mr. Loudon. We'll keep our objection on the record so that it's there.
Okay, so then, with that, moving forward from, and we'll preserve your objection, but if you want to appeal. The next thing, preliminary wise, is so in addition to this hearing tonight, MRPI has filed a lawsuit in the Court of Common Pleas decision, 30 days generally after given notice or being provided notice of that decision. So there's a question whether or not the township is within that 30 days or was not given notice or is within 30 days of being provided notice. So that everyone is aware tonight, concurrently, there is a Court of Common Pleas complaint filed against the township and the Zoning Hearing Board stating that this matter shouldn't be heard because the county
Well, yeah,
objects on
my position is jurisdiction of this appeal of the determination is with this board in the MPC. Jurisdictions within this board. The timeliness is also within the authority of, again, timeliness is something you should decide after you hear the facts.
Chairman Gumby?
Do we want to get into those facts now, or?
Well, I'm gonna present testimony on those.
Yeah, I mean, we can go on that later. I mean, I guess, but I just want to go to this preliminary that everyone's aware that this could be moot. I mean, I suspect the zoning hearing board will not make a decision now as to whether or not timeliness occurred or did not occur. But it will probably be mentioned in the order. But I don't suspect it, whichever way they rule, it may not lie solely on that.
Could I suggest that we address that up front, because I don't think there's any reason.
Can I summarize it? I guess we could summarize it, but that's not.
All I was thinking was handle that issue first. If the board decides that it was timely, then we can recall any witnesses that need to come back up, and if the board decides it's not timely, then we're done and move on. It just seems like it's a threshold issue to me that needs to be addressed before we start going out.
Don't read into this, we wouldn't have to sit here all night long and hear the rest of the testimony, so you guys would have decided that the township fails in their appeal. But if you are unsure, or if you want to hear everything first and everything, and then decide later, that's what we're talking about.
I'm not familiar with the situation that's being presented. Really out of.
Yeah, we mark those exhibits. Do you have a preference on how you want to name that number?
MRPI 1,
Or
M1,
and
M1?
Ken and Scott Reichert, R-E-I-C-H-E-R-T, 19 Amity Road, and the original, these are all verified by each of the three of them. They seek intervention because they have a direct, substantial, and immediate interest in the outcome of this appeal.
If you want to go and ask them first, feel free.
Yep. We start with Ms. Stites.
What'd you say?
Ms. Stites,
Yeah, that's all right.
may I ask you a few
You'll have to
questions?
speak up, I'm hard of hearing, and I have hearing aids in, so
I'll slide over here if that's helpful.
better.
I've asked, are these going to,
Proposed project and, or excuse me, let me rephrase that. What are your concerns with the determination and how it might affect you as a property owner individually?
How many do you want?
Please, go ahead. I was getting at, what are your specific concerns with how this determination and potential data center may affect your property specifically,
With a-
different than just the general public?
With a 60-foot or 45-foot, I want to know this because of some data I found out. So if my well runs dry, my 140-acre farm will not be too useful. The plan that was presented has 10 buildings. I assume the lot coverage is to be, I have a whole list here if you want to know all of them.
May I ask how close you live to the property?
I'm on your property line.
You abut the property, right?
Pardon?
You abut it, you're
I
touching it?
abut it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. No objections.
to her specifically, or the whole?
To her.
A lot of deer, turkey behind me. I'm not sure how it could or would affect the bass fishing down in the river. The vibrations, I'm not real great with that idea either. That property value in general.
Property owner,
Yes.
he has standing. There's no basis to go any further. The law is clear under the MPC. If you're an adjacent property owner, you have standing. You're going into the merits of your application. That's not what this case is about.
No.
You're wasting our time.
No, I'm asking property that others might not feel.
Entire lifestyle, my water, vibration, the noise, I could go on.
Nope, that's fine, thank you. No objection to Mr. Reichert. I think that's everyone.
Yes, sir. So Attorney Medical, the floor is yours.
Okay, where do you want the witness to sit, or?
Or we can pull up a chair if you want, whatever it is you're comfortable with, or it's a small room, I don't, not thinking.
Yeah, my first witness is gonna be the zoning officer, Jerry Speaks.
Let's get him actually next to the court reporter, so we can make sure that everything is heard. Is that okay with you?
Mr. Speaks, would you state your name and address?
Rome Speaks, 11 Deer Trail Circle, Liverpool, Pennsylvania.
And are you presently the zoning officer for Watts Township?
Yes,
How long have you been the zoning officer for Watts Township?
I don't really know.
Long time?
Yes,
And are you the engineer for Watts Township?
yes,
And the same letter, that's the subject of the appeal. And I'm assuming that all the board members have a copy of this letter, is that correct?
Yes.
I want to go to the letter of February 26, 2024.
Attorney Pickle, one second. Do you need
Just
another?
step out and grab my stuff because we had that conversation.
I have another copy. Is that? Oh, and your water too?
Yeah, let me just.
Does anybody up there know if there's a specific reason why the air conditioning?
I was just about to ask that, but I thought it'd be a dumb question. I thought maybe we didn't pay for air conditioning thing, but it's.
It is our billing.
That's the old fan, the new one's over there.
Where?
The new thermostat's over.
The other end.
What end?
Oh, that way. It said it's 72 and the fan's on, so I don't know.
Any luck with the air conditioning?
Go ahead.
All right, back on the record, Attorney Pickle.
Mr. Pritchard, the letter is, the determination is attached to the appeal. I assume that's part of the record.
Yeah, your application is technically exhibit 1, but yes.
I don't have to mark it as a separate exhibit.
No.
Now, Mr. Spees, so you indicated you are an engineer. Are you licensed in the state of Pennsylvania
Yes.
as a civil engineer?
Yes.
And I'm looking at this letter under the date of February 26, 2024. And I would like you to give the background of how this came about, if you could. There was some reference I saw in some emails to a meeting or a conversation. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I got a call from Charlie Courtney. He was representing Drive, what the use was of using part of it. I was under the impression that it was going to be just a part of one of the end of the warehouses is what I was thought.
Now, at that point in time, MRPI had a warehouse plan, preliminary plan approved, I believe, by the township, correct?
Yes.
And they may have even started their final plan with the township.
Myself, Matt Clymer, Charlie Courtney, and I think there was another person, but I don't remember his name.
There weren't any other township officials there?
Right, there was no.
And would that have taken place in what month of 2024?
It was probably February, either late January or February.
And you indicated the purpose was?
I don't know whether anything happened. Charlie Courtney probably called me and asked me if I'd made a determination yet, and I probably said no. And then I think Charlie wrote this up.
Well, let's go to that. You, as township zoning officer, did you operate out?
Back then, I don't think I did.
And so, did there come a point in time, and I'm looking at this letter, it says by email to Jerry Spees. Did you receive that letter by email?
I think I did.
Does it say at the top?
Yes, by email.
And would that have been an email to you at your house? And is there a CC to Matthew Clymer on that letter?
Correct.
Is there any CC to Watts Township on that letter?
No.
Now, you attend Board of Supervisors meetings as zoning officer, is that correct?
Correct.
You returned that letter to Mr. Courtney, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, I marked that as Township 2, Mr. Spees. Does that look like an email from you?
Yes.
And what's the date of that email?
March 14th, 2024.
And that email is directly to Charles Courtney, is that correct?
Yes.
And is also,
Running that letter that we talked about previous,
so you were forwarding that back to
Charlie.
Charles Courtney? And he indicates, that email indicates that he emailed that to you in the United States, speaks for itself. You signed that email and returned it to
Yes.
Charles Courtney with a copy to the Watts secretary, and then the second page, Mr. Courtney says, "Thank you, Chair." Correct?
Yes.
So we have that email. Now, let me ask you this. Zoning officer,
Yes.
on each agenda, will you agree with me there?
Yes.
And this was returned to Mr. Courtney on March 14th. You must have signed it right then, or right around then. Would you have, at the next Board of Supervisors meeting, and I'm talking about April, and I believe it was April 2nd, but did you bring that to the attention of the Board of Supervisors, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
And if I told you at that Board of Supervisors meeting on April 2nd, and I have the agenda, which I'll put in the evidence, but was that the meeting where the final land development plan for the warehouse was conditionally approved by the supervisors? Did you ever bring this determination to any individual supervisor or collective supervisor to your knowledge?
No,
You're saying you did not.
I did not.
And so, this determination appeared on a set of plans, or with a set of plans that was submitted, I believe, on March 26, 2026. Do you remember? Mr. Spees, you, in 2024, were you familiar with a data center use?
No.
In the 2 years since then, and I'm taking it to March, February 2026, have you learned a lot more about the data center use?
Yes.
What more have you learned about a data center use than you knew in 2024?
Well, over the last 2 years, data centers been coming into the news. And it started through the township. And we found out the problems that come with data centers, the water, electric, and the noise.
So were those impacts that you were not aware of in 2024?
I was not aware of them.
And would those be most of the differences that you learned over that 2-year period?
Yes.
Based on your knowledge that you've gained in that 2-year period of a data center use, would your conclusion be the same today as it was in February of 2024?
No, it would not be the same.
And what would it be?
What I would say is that I wouldn't sign this letter, that I think that, my opinion is that the data center does go in industrial, but it would be through some type of conditional use or special exception.
Would it be, well, I guess my question is, would it be different than a warehouse or a distribution center, non-processing distribution center?
Yes.
You're saying it would be?
It would not be a warehouse.
It would not be the same thing?
Yes.
It would be a separate use, is that what your testimony
Yes.
is? I don't have any other questions at this point.
Can I come? First one to me? Yeah. Hi, Mr. Steves, thanks for being with us this evening. We'll go back to kind of start where the solicitor started. You were appointed to your position as zoning officer by the Watts Township Board of Supervisors, correct?
Yes.
And as zoning officer, you're responsible for the administration and enforcement of the Watts Township Zoning Ordinance?
Correct.
And in that role, are you responsible for interpreting the zoning ordinance?
Yes.
So you are familiar with the Township Zoning Ordinance then?
Yes.
And in your role, you are of course authorized to review and issue permits, interpret the zoning ordinance, and issue zoning determinations, among other duties.
Yes.
Am I correct that your Gmail account is the email address provided on the website for access to you as the zoning officer?
I think that's the only one there, I don't know.
Would you disagree with me if I told you that it was?
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Thank you, sir. Some of these are gonna be a little out of order, but, solicitor asked about the various meetings. Do you recall attending the April 2nd meeting?
I don't, I do not know whether I was at that one or not.
Do you advise the board, of all of your actions? In other words, every time you approve a zoning permit, do you send a memo to the board to let them know?
Usually, I end up, usually reporting them on the meeting.
In the meeting reports?
Yeah.
Every time somebody calls and asks you a question about the zoning ordinance, do you report that to the
No.
board? So generally speaking, then you don't advise the board of everything that you're doing in your day-to-day business for the township?
No, I do not.
Solicitor handed out an email to you, and I'm gonna provide you with a slightly different version of it that we will call, I think we're on M2. Thank you. This email is substantially the same as the one that Solicitor Fenical gave you. Is the substance the same? In other words, does it say on March 14th that you sent an email to Mr. Courtney It says attaches my confirmation of your letter to me dated 2/26/2024.
Yes.
And then below that, does it have an email that it appears you were responding to from Mr. Courtney dated February 26, 2024? The same email that Mr. Solicitor Fenical referred to as the one talking about the conversation?
Yes.
That email from Mr. Courtney to you, does it show that the Watts Township Secretary was copied? The one from Mr. Courtney to you on February 26th?
Wait a minute, that's from, what did you say? I didn't write.
I'm asking if the email that Charlie Courtney sent Jerry Spees on February 26th included the secretary.
Where do you see that? I'm missing something here.
But
The
there's
email
nothing to
I'm
see.
reading, I'm reading says from Jerry Spees to Charles Courtney, Watts Township.
Right, and then immediately below that, on, you can see Mr. Spees was replying to Mr. Courtney's email. On Monday, February 26th at 9:45 a.m., Courtney Charles wrote this to Jerry.
To Jerry,
Right,
but not to the township.
that's my point.
What's your point?
The email from Charlie to Jerry Spees did not include as on copy the township secretary. Confirmation, the one that attaches my confirmation from Jerry to Charlie Courtney. Who else is on that email?
Watts secretary.
So did you add the Watts secretary to the email then, when you were replying?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of adding the Watts secretary to the email?
And when they send it to the township.
So you wanted to make sure that the township was aware that this determination was going out, correct?
Yes.
And so it was your belief that getting it to the Watts secretary, that the secretary was an agent of the township, and therefore the township knew what was going on, and the secretary would do with it what was needed, is that correct?
Objection to categorizing her as the agent.
Is the Watts secretary an employee of the township, Jerry?
Yes.
Is the Watts secretary the employee of the township that's charged with keeping documents and responsible for documents in the township?
Yes.
So when you sent the email and copied the Watts Township secretary, were you believing that you were giving notice to the township?
Yes.
And was it your expectation then that the secretary would pass that information along to whoever needed it?
Objection to the question.
I'm asking what his belief was, what his expectation was, why he would copy them.
The expectation's not important. It's what he actually had.
Okay, so in the email then from you, for the township, so that people know what's going on in the township. Okay.
Object to that again, you're categorizing it, but he said people know what's going on in the township. It went to the township secretary, I'll stipulate that.
Okay. Give me a second, I don't have a lot of room to work here, so I need to go through.
Watts Township Secretary. And only her.
I do that all the time to notify the secretary.
And is it your procedure that you only would notify her, or would you notify other members as well when you make decisions, when you contact the township?
I don't do it too often, but I said, I send it to her.
Okay. So it's your procedure that you would only send it to her?
As warehouses and similar non-crossing storage and distribution uses under section 363.2 of the zoning ordinance, correct? That's
Yes.
what you and the solicitor were talking about in the letter. And then your determination is dated March 14, 2024? Correct?
Yes.
Who did you discuss the determination with, if anyone, during the 17 days you had it from February 26th to March 14th?
I don't think, yes.
Did you consult with anyone else before issuing the determination?
No.
Did you request any additional information before issuing it?
No.
The determination includes language that says, in my capacity as zoning officer of Watts Township, I hereby concur with and make the determination set forth below. You sign that determination in your capacity as the Watts Township zoning officer, correct?
Correct.
And in that determination, you concluded that data centers are permitted in the industrial district as warehouses and similar non-processing storage and distribution uses under section 363.2, correct?
Yes.
Is there anywhere in that zoning determination letter that it says the data center use? And so you understood at the time that you were making so you understood at the time that you issued the determination, you were making an official determination?
Yes.
You can, and at that time, you believed it was a reasonable interpretation? With me just a moment here, I apologize. Did you happen to place a copy of the determination in any township records or files or anywhere else?
No.
Is the property at issue here located in the industrial district? Is the term warehouse separately defined in the zoning ordinance?
Yes.
How is it defined? Anyone opposed if I hand Mr. Spees a copy of the zoning ordinance? Do you want to look at it? We're there in the B's and W's. I don't believe that warehouse is defined. I think we can all stipulate that on last Thursday, June 25th, the Board of Supervisors adopted a new ordinance, 26, adopted a new ordinance that now does include data centers. We are referring to the zoning ordinance that predates that. Thank you. Clearly, these questions were written before that happened. And storage and distribution, correct?
Right.
And do you agree that similar non-processing storage and distribution uses is a broader term than just warehouse?
Yes.
And so your determination did not require then that a data center be identical to a traditional consumer goods warehouse in every aspect, in every respect, did it?
Yes.
So that's correct?
Yes.
When you made your determination, you understood that data centers are physical buildings, correct?
Yes.
And you understood that data centers house servers, data storage drives, and related hardware?
Yes.
And at that time that you understood that those buildings also in 363.2 or even a warehouse, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you consider whether data centers fit under any other permitted use in the industrial district or any other use in the township?
No.
When you made your determination, you were classifying the principal use of the building, correct? This use is and what it is. In those matters, power, water, noise, they're addressed through land development review, building permits, and regulations in the zoning ordinance, correct?
Yes.
They're not necessarily specific for use. And maybe about what I mean by that is just as a general. So in other words, the intensity of utility capacity, the intensity of stormwater, the intensity of power does not necessarily change the use. The use is storage.
The use inside the building is yes.
Am I correct that warehouses and other storage and distribution?
Which is non-processing.
Understood.
And I believe that's very important to be in there.
Understood. So So just circling back, then your determination did not approve final utility design, water supply, stormwater, noise mitigation, building code compliance, or anything else that would fall under land development, zoning regulations outside of the use, or the building code, correct? All you,
That's correct.
It speaks for itself.
did you disagree with me that it was over 2 years later?
Probably.
Township filed its appeal on April 8th, 2026. Prior to filing that appeal, did they or the solicitor talk to you about your determination? This appeal and your determination.
I don't even know. I said, I know that the letter came in with the set of plans. And that's when it came of knowledge to the supervisors.
Okay.
I don't think so.
No? Has anyone asked you to change your determination?
No.
Has anyone asked you to